Thank you to Christopher Arnold for suggesting these three teams. Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and I'm back with another preview and prediction video. Today I will be doing the Tennessee Volunteers. Last season, Tennessee Volunteers went 7-6 and they went 4-4 in the SEC. They lost against Pitt at home, at Florida, against Ole Miss at home, at Alabama, against Georgia at home, and then against Purdue in the Music City Bowl, which I believe the refs kind of screwed them. But anyways, Tennessee did very well last year, looked better than they have since 2016. And they, honestly, if they would have played Florida or Pitt, well, not Pitt, but Florida later in the season, they probably would have beaten Florida. So, in my opinion, they're on the up and up with head coach Josh Heupel and his offense. Let's look at what they're working with. Of course, with Hendon Hooker, they have a very good defense. Why did I say defense? Very good offense. Yes, with Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker, I remember when he was at Virginia Tech, and their offense was not the best, but his running ability kind of helped them out. And then he went to Tennessee and looked phenomenal. I don't think he's going to be a Heisman contender, but he's going to be kind of like Will Rogers is, a very good stat sheet. I forget the name, but very good at getting stats on the stat sheet. Anyways, so one thing about Tennessee that's going to struggle is their defense. They have some pieces. However, can Josh Heupel get the defense cohesed and their chemistry together to where they work very well? Now, let's see what they're working with. On offense, Cedric Tillman, Brew McCoy, Jalen Hyatt. Three great wide receivers. Brew McCoy transferred in from USC. Running back, you have Jabari Small, who was great last year. Tight ends, you have Jacob Warren and Princeton Fant. And then, of course, you have Hendon Hooker, graduate transfer from Virginia Tech. Offensive line, you have some seniors and juniors. Senior transfer from you have a sophomore transfer in Gerald Mincey from Florida and a senior transfer from Butler Community College in Jeremy Crawford. I don't know who's going to get the start out of them two, but who knows? Then you have senior Jerome Carvin at left guard, junior Cooper Mays, who could be related to Cade Mays at center, junior Javonte Spraggins at right guard, and Darnell Wright, senior right tackle. On the defensive side, you have some names like Tyler Barron, junior defensive end, Byron Young, senior transfer defensive end, who was there last year, Jeremy Banks, who I believe is going to be the captain of the defense, redshirt senior, Jalen McCollum, senior strong safety, Trevon Flowers, senior free safety, Warren Burrell, senior corner, and Brandon Turridge, a redshirt junior transfer from Alabama. I think this defense has the potential to be well. However, it's going to take them stepping up in times of need. One thing that hurts their defense is the tempo offense they run. The defense gets tired a lot sooner than they would regular. Now, let's look at their recruiting rankings. Tennessee, over the past 5 years, has an average of 16 in the country, with this year being 17th, last year being 22nd, 2020 being 10th, 2019 being 13th, and 2018 being 21st. Not bad, honestly, for Tennessee standards. So, let's see how they're going to do this year. They start out the year against Ball State. I think they'll get a win there. They're better than Ball State, to say the least. This is not another Georgia State situation. Week 2, they're at Pittsburgh. This is going to be the first big game on Tennessee's schedule, and I think they get the win. Pitt has Kedon Slovis, and I don't know if he's going to be ready for a challenge against Tennessee in a shootout, with Tennessee having a decent defense, I'd say, but a great offense. So I think they start at 2-0. The next week, Akron, one of the worst teams in the group of 5, So they'll get the win. So 3-0. Then they have the game that they have circled on the calendars for September. Florida Gators come to Knoxville for the first time both teams, well, Tennessee has been competitive since 2016. This is going to be a big game for Tennessee and Florida, respectfully. Honestly, it could go either way, but I think that Tennessee's going to get it done for the first time since 2016, knock off the Gators, and go into their bye week 4-0. Coming out of their bye week, they have to go on the road to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. If this was any other year where LSU did not have a first-year head coach and they lost a lot of players to either transfer portal or the draft or something like that, I would say LSU would have a great shot, but Tennessee has a better team, better odds, and honestly, right now, the better coach. So, now I'm not saying Brian Kelly's a bad coach. It's just his first year at LSU. He's not going to be the best, so I'm taking Tennessee 5-0 going into the third Saturday in October against Alabama. I went back and forth on this game, but what it came down to was Alabama's depth compared to Tennessee's. So I think Alabama comes out with the win. It's going to be competitive, but I think Alabama gets the win, and Tennessee has its first loss on the season. 5-1 going into the game against UT Martin. They'll get the win. UT Martin is inferior to Tennessee at this point, so I think that they're going to be 6-1 going into the game against Kentucky in Knoxville. What's funny is Kentucky has been the thorn in Tennessee's side in Knoxville, while Tennessee has been the thorn in Kentucky's side in Lexington. Both are going to be very competitive teams. I think Kentucky's going to be wanting revenge from last year and that missed call by the refs and everything. So I think Kentucky gets a hard-fought win in Knoxville, and Tennessee drops to 6-2 going into the game against Georgia in Sanford Stadium in Athens, Georgia. I think Tennessee can score. However, I think Georgia's defense will be able to, at this point in the season, will be able to slow down Tennessee's offense just like last year. But Tennessee will have a little bit more leeway because of their offense they run and the amount of defense Georgia lost. So I think Georgia gets the win, but by a score or two. 6-3 going into the game against Missouri in Knoxville. That's going to be a win. Missouri's going to be one of the worst teams in the SEC this year. So I think that's going to be 7-3 going into the game in Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. South Carolina is going to be a very improved team this year, or compared to, besides last year, the past couple of years. Tennessee, I think they're good, but I think Tennessee's better than Carolina. So I think I think Tennessee's going to get the win on the road at South Carolina. And finally, their rivalry game against Vandy. You will crush Vanderbilt badly in Nashville to finish the season 9-3 for the first time since 2016 and have a chance to win 10 games, I believe, since 2015. So there you go, Tennessee fans. You have a 9-win regular season, in my opinion. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments who to do next. And there's a playlist on my channel, I believe that it's public, of all these predictions if you would like to go watch them all. Anyways, thank you all, and go Dogs.